Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to be editing some of my raw photos that I took with my Canon R7 and my Canon RF 100mm f2.8L lens. I'm going to be using Adobe Bridge to look through the photos, Adobe Photoshop to edit them, and I'm also going to be using Topaz Labs DeNoise AI, and I'll also be using Skylum Luminar Neo to help use AI software to help with my editing. So let me show you how I do this. Okay, so we're just hopping into Bridge here, and I'm going to select one of these really cool photos that I got recently. In Adobe Bridge here, we're just gonna right click and we're gonna hit open. And that's gonna pull us right into Camera Raw here, and this is where we start to edit. Now, I usually stick with Adobe Color, but this is where you can choose any of your in-camera profiles if you want to kind of mess with them. But this is where I'll make very basic changes, like maybe we'll add a touch of contrast. I might pull the highlights back just a hair, but let's not pull them on the entire scene. Let's actually show you how we create masks. So we're gonna come right over to this little tab here. We're gonna click it, and we're just gonna tell it to detect the subject. And what's really cool about Photoshop now, or Camera Raw here, is that it does a really good job. You know, maybe it's not perfect, it didn't get this leg here, but whatever, no one's really gonna notice that. So what we're gonna do is just pull the highlights back on just the subject itself. Maybe add a little bit of saturation on just the subject itself, no major changes, and then we're gonna hit open. And this will pull us into actual Photoshop. And this is where I'm going to start to use my AI software. So from here in Photoshop, and these are both standalone softwares, but I like to use them as plugins with Photoshop. So what we do to use them that way is we go to Filter up here, and we're just gonna go down to Topaz Labs, and Topaz DeNoise AI, and we're going to use DeNoise AI, so it's going to open us and pull this picture right into that software for us. And then what we're going to do is just let this run. Now this is on standard, and this can be a little bit aggressive, but I've been getting really good results now that we have more updated versions and the algorithms are getting better. So check it out. As we swipe through here, we can see that it's sharpening that image and getting rid of that noise. Okay, so we're happy with that, so we're just gonna hit apply, and that's going to sharpen and denoise our image, and that'll bring us right back into Photoshop with those changes made. And now we are going to go into our other AI software. We're gonna go to Filter again, we're gonna go to Skylum software, and we're gonna pull ourselves in to Luminar Neo. Now Luminar Neo is a really, really cool software. I love it so much, especially for changing the color in my images, because no matter how much I practice, no matter what I do, it always seems to do a better job than I do, and just like in 1/10 of the time. So I just gave up, and this is how I do it now. So I'm just gonna go over to edit. And what's so awesome about this software is just how easy it really makes things. All I do here is open up the enhance slider here and bring that accent up a little bit, and it just makes changes that I wish my eye would have recognized I wanted. It just brightened up this background a little bit, maybe added a little bit of contrast and stuff, but you can see the difference that it's making here. Just slight, but so easy, so quick, and it looks really good. And then I'm happy there, I'm just gonna hit apply. Okay, and then it's gonna add those changes, and boom, we're back into Photoshop again. Now what I wanna show you guys now are two different things that I'm noticing about this. Now one, we've got a spot over here that looks like there might have been some dust on my sensor. So we're just gonna click this little icon over here, right click it, go to Spot Healing Brush Tool. You can right click it to change the size of your circle, and then you can just fix that little blob there, get rid of that real quick. Awesome, so that's gone. And then the other thing is if we zoom way in on the eye here, you can see that because I used flash and the light kind of fragmented here, you've got that kind of rainbow pattern. Let's see if we can get rid of that. So what I'm gonna do is just come up here and grab the lasso tool, and let's just go right on around everything we don't like. And then I'm gonna right click, and there's different ways we could do this. We could generative fill and tell it to remove this, but what I'm gonna do is do content aware fill. And here it's showing us the changes that are gonna be made. Here is where we're going to select the area we want it to pull from. So right around that area, let's have it pull from. And what does that give us? That's gonna give us this end result here. And honestly, that's pretty good. There's a little bit of weirdness, but whatever. We're just gonna hit enter, or return on the Mac, and boom, we've got that. Now that's, honestly, we're zoomed in so much, no one will notice what we just did, but there is a little bit of weirdness in here, as you can see. You know, it created some of the image here. So if you want to get crazy and you want to try to go, you know, this is where nobody ever wants to be with clone stamp. Now what I'm going to do is take these two layers here, and we're going to hold Command, and we're going to highlight both of them, and then right click, and we're going to merge these layers together so it's one layer. That way we don't get any weirdness, because it'll mess with you if you don't do that first. Now if I hold Option, I can tell it where to pull from, and then I can bring that up and kind of patch in, you know, some of that smoothness that we might not want. Now again, this isn't ideal. I never really like to get forced into using clone stamping if I don't need to, so I will always try to avoid it. But honestly, that made it look a little bit better, right? Some of that weirdness is kind of gone now, so I'm pretty happy there. So I'm just gonna back right out, and boom. Now I'm gonna crop in. So let's bring this down, because the R7 gives us nice high resolution images. We can crop right in if we want to. What do we think? Right about, let's bring it in more. Get it right about here maybe, and boom. And we have a final image. Now what's cool about that is it was really quick, it was really easy to do. We're using, again, Bridge to look through the photos, using Photoshop to edit the photos, and then we're using Topaz DeNoise AI to denoise and sharpen the image. And then we use Skylum Luminar Neo AI software to add final color. And I've gotten really, really good results with this. Anyway, guys, I hope that this helps you out a little bit. I'm going to be putting out a lot of really short, really quick videos like this. So they're just kind of tutorial videos that are going to help you get more used to editing photos or using software. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, make sure to go below, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I'll see you on my next video.